Hey guys, so today we'll see how to use the SysDA API to update the record. So if you have followed the last video, you have seen we have seen the insert statement in SysDA API. So today we'll be seeing the update. So for that, what I will do, I will simply create a runnable class. And I'll keep this name as 2 only. Okay, so we'll see how to update using SysDA. Okay, so what we'll continue our last series only. So if you see in our last series, we have added all these records into our this invent site ID table. So today what I will do, okay, let's try to update the record. So what we'll do, we'll keep or we'll make this name. Yeah, so let's do this. So what we'll do, we'll starting from record number 9 to tell this record number 40, we'll change the name field to name. So for example, here we have net 10, right? So instead of net 10, now we should have name field here. So we'll do something like that. Okay, so first of all, as we are going to do changes in invent site table, so I will define a buffer here. I will say invent site. Okay, so now we'll start using our SysDA API. So I will say SysDA. So yeah, SysDA. So if you see in last video, we have used this insert object. So instead of insert, we'll now use update object. So this is very straightforward. You will face challenges for the first go, but once you are able to remember the syntax, then it is fairly simple. So here I will define my new object. Here I will say sys equals to SysDA update. SysDA update object, and here inside this one I need to pass my table buffer, that is invent site. So invent site, this one, I put this out here, save. Okay, so I've defined my this update object. Okay, now I need to use as we have used the insert statement. So what's the issue here? Okay, I forget to put here new. Okay, yes. Okay, so now I will use, okay, let me not use this one, I will show you later. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll use this update object, and if you have used update record set, you might have used dot setting, right? So similarly we have here setting clause, and now inside this setting clause I have to define my field. So I will say add this add always, yeah, field str. Okay, so here I need to define which field. So I need to define here field. So our target was to update this name field. Okay, so I will use here invent site, and I will say name field, and so let me put here name. So then put places here. Then we need to put a SysDA query expression here. So what I could do, I could simply say what would be my this inside this name field, what I want data, what data I want. So I will say I want, instead of net 10, net 45 and all this, I will say I need blank here, blank. So I will add this blank string. So I will say yes, new SysDA value expression. Okay, so what do we want? We want blank here, blank here. So I will close this. So inside my update object, I have view setting clause, and then I have added my field, and here I have added value as well, what value I need. So here now we have only set the value, but we haven't specified in which all field we need this value. So for that, I will use my where clause that I did in previous videos. So I will say where clause. Okay, and now inside my where clause, I need to provide the query expression. So I will say new SysDA. Let me use here equal. So I will say here SysDA equal expression. Okay, and then again I need to put here left hand side and right hand side. So I'll put my left hand side condition. So what I will do, okay, let's make this query simplify. So what I will do something like this, like let me right here select from invent site, where this invent site dot will do, I will have to pick this field where site ID, where dot site ID equals to this one. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll say invent site. One second here. So then in the next statement we'll say invent site dot name equals to blank, and then we'll simply update. And here I will just select for update. So we are going to use a statement like this. So we'll only update this particular field, and we'll change the name field to blank here. Okay, so we have used equal expression here. So we'll say, so we need to provide the left hand side condition like this one. So I'll say new, this is SysDA field expression. Okay, I need to pass my table name. My table name is invent site, and then I need to provide my field name. So it's a field str. Here I need to provide my field name. So I'll say invent site, comma name field, as I'm doing modification in this field, and then I will. And my left hand side statement is ready, but now I need to provide the value as well. So I will write here SysDA value expression. Okay, and then here I need to pass the value. So this is my value where I need to put the condition for this record. So I'll select this record, I'll use this, and then I will close these two braces as well. That's it. So now at the end we'll simply, so now we need to define a statement object. So I will say SysDA update statement. So then I will say stmt equals to new sys the update statement, and I will close this. Then I will execute this stmt statement dot execute, and here I have to pass my update object, this one, update object. So this is a transaction, so I need to put TTS begin and TTS commit here. case commit here, and that's it. Simple and straightforward. So let us do one more thing here. So we'll write an info statement here just to see how the query looks like this. So I will say update object dot display me the query. So I will use toString field and save this one. Now let me execute. Let me do the build here. So just a small correction here. So here if you see I'm using a where clause. So what I'm saying here is like invent site id dot name equals to de001. That is totally wrong. So here instead of name I need to use this field, right? Here if you see the name already have this value. So I need to say site id here. So I will say site id instead of name. I put here site id. Say this. I will say here site id. So let me do the build now and then see. So the build is completed, and here if you see we have this update record set, invent site, where setting name equals to blank, where invent.site id equals to de001. So that is the exact code that we have written here. So now if you will notice here de001, initially we have some different value here, right? Now the value would be blank here. So when you will go to SQL and you execute this query, now you see the name field is instead of net10 we have here blank. So let me iterate one time code here. So we need to do update. So for that we use the SysDA update object. Okay, and then we define our table. Then we used this setting clause, and we told that in which field we wanted to update. We wanted to update in our name field, and then we define what value we want to keep. So we want to keep the blank value, this blank string in this name field. Then we put a where clause here that we only want to add this site id where it is equals to de-001. So for that we use the where clause. Here we say sys data field expression, and here we say SysDA value expression, this one. Then in order to execute this statement, we need to use the SysDA update statement, SysDA insert statement. Okay, so we simply define an object here. Then we executed this one, and here we need to define, or we need to pass our update object. So we simply pass this one, so that we'll get a query. So we added here info statement, that is update object to string, which shows us the query that runs behind the screen. So thank you for watching this video.